boundary, suspense boundary. So how to use lazy loading. So today we'll improve some code. So if you see the final application in the here description, you can see there is dot dot. So what will happen if the description is lengthy? So let's say I have a lot of lengthy description. And if I update this expense, you can see this is not looking good. So you can add those ellipses. So only some specific number of characters you will be displaying, and after that you will see those dots. And if I mouse over, you will see the complete information. So let's say electricity bill. If there is this large description, you will be able to see that large description when you mouse over it. Second thing is this price is yeah. So this price, you can see it's in dollar format, and it automatically adds comma. Let's say if I increase this, you can see it's formatted nicely, so it's clear. This date also, it's clear October 4, 2023. Here it's not clear what it is, so this is date or this is date, which one is month, it's not clear. So we should display this nicely formatted date, amount, and description. So let's start with description display. You can see description table is too much larger, so we can use fixed width for each of the column. You can see 25% width is given. So for each of these particular columns, 4 columns, and for this edit, this does not have any line. So only for these 4 columns we are giving some fixed width. So go to expense table. So you can give inline style, or you can also give CSS classes. So avoid giving inline style only if it's you are using once or twice, that is fine, but don't use inline style, always use class. So expense table, cannot fixed width column with 25 or 20%. So if you see here 25, there are 4 columns, 1 2 3 4, so that's why we are giving 25. So 25 into 4 is 100%. Here we can give fixed width. Now if you check, you can see now the width is fixed, but the content is larger, so it's getting stretched. So we can display some specific number of characters in this description. So for this, we can create a new function. Close. Inside utils, you can create functions.js file. You can say get description, short description, you can say. So when you have something which you can use multiple places, instead of directly declaring function there, you can declare it here. So if later somewhere else you want to use, you can reuse this. So here you will get that original description, and you will return here description dollar of description dot slice. So from 0, let's say 10 characters, I want 10 characters. And now after this, if the description length, so let's say description dot length is greater than, let's say 10, so again 10. So as you are using it multiple times, it's always good to create a constant. Export const max description character length, let's say 10. Let's keep it 10. So now you can directly use that constant, so you don't need to change it everywhere if you later decide to change. So if the length is greater than that particular length, then add dot 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 3 dots, otherwise don't add any. You can export this. So you can have multiple functions inside this file. That's why we export it as named export. We are not exporting default. So if you export default, you can only export one thing in a particular file. So default export, you can only export default only one thing, so either one class or one function. So if you want to add some more functions, you need to export them by name. So named export. So we'll export everything as a named export. Now inside the table, here description, we can use get description. What are the short description? And we provide the description. Now you can see it's shorter. So if the description is greater than 10, now you only see this initial 10 character. Let's make it 20. 10 is too less. You can see this is fine. But now you don't see, if you want to see the description, you need to go to the edit page. Instead of that, you can add a title here, a tooltip. So to add a tooltip, you just need to add a title attribute, that is HTML attribute. And here you give the entire description. So title gets displayed whenever you mouse over. So now if I mouse over here, you can see you get complete description. So this is good for accessibility also. Now screen readers, if they are, then they will be able to read what it contains. Now this expense amount we need to format. Export const get formatted amount. Can call it amount. So here we need to use create constant. So there is intl package in JavaScript. Number format. Here you can pass enus. If you Google on Mozilla MDN, you can see more information. intl MDN is Mozilla Development. So all the, if you want any JavaScript function, how it works, this is the best place, Mozilla Developer Network. So you can learn more about it, how to use this and what options you can pass, what methods it has. So now this is number format. Here we can provide options. Let's control space. So you can see currency. You can say USD. Maximum fractional digits 0. Minimum fractional digits 0. Now we can return number dot format by passing that amount. Let's see what it prints. Get formatted amount. Get formatted amount, and we can pass that amount. So dollar is not getting added. You can see it's formatted. So let me add some more digits. You can see this is formatted correct, but the dollar is not getting added. Now you can see dollar is added. So this is how you can format any of the amount that you have. You don't need any external library. So there are also external library to get format data, but JavaScript has inbuilt this intl package, which you can directly use to get the formatted information. Now the expense date, export const get formatted date. We'll receive date here, return new date, and you'll pass this date dot to local date string. Again enus. For this you can pass year. So if you press control space, you will get those suggestions. What values it accepts. So it has 2-digit and numeric. I want numeric. You can play with those values and see how what different things it displays. Year, month. I want short. Day will be again numeric. So if you get this, all these are JavaScript functions. You don't need any external library. Method date, expense. So you can see 7 November 2020. So you correctly get this year date formatted. So you can also try with long. So long is it displays entire name. You can see November. So we don't want entire. Short is fine. Just November 16. So that's how you can display formatted data. Here you don't need anything. So no matter how big the content is, it will always display this formatted, and you will be able to see that clearly. So only if it goes beyond 20 characters, you display this dot dot dot. Otherwise, you will not display. So now the advantage of constant is you can use it anywhere, and you need to change here only. You don't need to change in this function twice. So you are using twice. So you don't need to use it twice. Now you can see it's 10 characters. Now let's check the responsiveness of this application. So you should always create responsive websites. So what will happen if it goes beyond some certain limit? So you can see there is a scroll bar added. What you can do is you can move this left side at the top. So we are using Flexbox, it's very easy. So here we have left, you can see main is using display flex. So if I use flex direction column, you can see this will be at the top, and below you will have those expenses. So if you are using Flexbox, it's very easy to create responsive website. So for main, we need to add that only when after certain breakpoint. So go to CSS, add media screen, and max width. So this is how you can add a media query. This is the most popular way to make responsive website. So let's say 768 pixels. So up to 768 pixel, we apply CSS here. So when the screen size is less than 768 pixel, these whatever styles you provide here, these will get applied. So we want for main flex direction column. Now if I make this bigger, you can see they are side by side. Now if I make this smaller, so you can see here on the right side, you can see the width and height. You can see as soon as it's 768 pixel, it will become row wise. You can see. So that's the advantage of this Flexbox. Now let's make this left. So we have created this 12 column grid. So this we are using Flexbox for the main with display flex, and the left side is having flex 2 and right side flex 10. So it's 12 column. So when it's mobile, you can say flex 1 for left, and for right flex 11. Yeah, list item has minimum height. Actually, we don't need this. So list item is the only thing which we need minimum height. So for left and main, we don't need. Now you can see it's display. So list items, minimum height 100. So we can target this. Minimum height unset. Not here. So this is not getting applied. So you can see this is striked out. That means this one is overriding that one. So minimum height 100 VH, sidebar list items. Let's use one more class here. So it will be more. CSS specificity. So it's known as specificity. So ID has more specificity. So when you have two columns, two what is classes and three classes. So three has more specificity. So if some class is not getting applied, some CSS is not getting applied, you can increase its specificity. So you can read this my article, what is CSS specificity and how it does work. So if you are using Bootstrap, some BS buttons or CSS which already there in the Bootstrap, you will not be able to apply your own CSS because they have more specific CSS. So how you can increase your specificity so your CSS will get applied? So that I have explained here. So you can read about this. So which are the highest priority? So not important when you add that has highest priority. Then inline styles comes, then ID comes, then classes, and then actual elements, so paragraph, div, all these. So in this specific order you need to mention that, and based on that you need to calculate which will have highest priority, and then it will automatically display. So you can read this article. This is also interrogation, what is CSS specificity. So they give ID and class, and which will have the highest priority, so which class will get applied. So here I have explained that. So I have paragraph with ID and paragraph with class. So both are having color, the given color. So which color will be applied? So that is also interrogation. So now we can center align this. So list items, sidebar, left. So for this left we have given main, flex direction, sidebar, list item. So for list item we can say display flex, flex direction. So you should always write here and then use it. Flex direction column, align item center, justify content center. So we can use this for list items. Now they are centered. You can also hide these classes so it does not look good with those icons. So for those icons, what we are using, sidebar. So we already have icon class. So you can say display none. Icon will not be displayed. So now this is better than displaying those icons. So only during desktop view you will see those icons, and mobile view you will not see those icons. All other functionality will be added. So this is better. And you can see the pages are responsive. This is because we have given main content class which has max width. Always give max width and not width. If you give width, then it's scrollable. It's not responsive. With max width, so it adjusts as per width of the device. Now every page is responsive. Dashboard, you can see this is also responsive. So if there is extra columns here, it will add scroll bar to the table, which is good. So we have added responsive. Let's inspect this. You can see there is table responsive class is added, overflow x auto. So if you go to table, here we have added class of responsive, that is bootstrap class. So once you add that, that will be responsive, and scroll bar will be added if content goes larger. For search expense, this is also fine. So for this, we can give some margin, filters, gap. This is not filter, this form and filters, margin top. This is better. So for desktop also and mobile also, margin top 1 REM. So you should also test for responsiveness. So you can see usually width of the mobile device 360 pixel or 320 pixel you can consider. So for that you should make it responsive. So you can see this is not looking good. So what you can do for this filter, these are all filters. You are already displaying display flex. So go to CSS index, flex direction column. Now they will be displayed one below the other. Remove that one margin now. Margin top, it's not needed, or it's needed, it's added. Why there is more gap? Yes, we have given gap also, so we don't need gap. Because we have given justify content There is filter. Justify contains space between. So you don't need gap property. It will automatically add space. So now this is better and it automatically adjusts as per the width. It's working. Only cache, card. So everything is working. Now let's check the profile page. This is also responsive. Update profile updated. You should check these error messages also, success messages. So now you can see this is smaller. So it automatically adds the scroll bar. So it's responsive. So that's the advantage of that responsive extra prop. This is also displaying better. Now you can see there is a scroll bar, which is better thing. If you don't add, if you don't add that responsive, then you will have scroll bar for the page. You can see this is not looking good. So you have some extra space here. So adding scroll bar to the page in mobile is not good. So adding to the table will make it scrollable, which is good user experience. So responsive is done, the formatting is done. So now we can improve the code. So if you go to app, you can see the file is becoming larger. So we have lot of file is too much bigger. So we can move this inside custom hook. So custom hooks you can create use expenses, export const use expenses, and everything from here we can mount here. So it's exactly same what you need, you just use that. So here I can say use expenses, and whatever I need I can return that. Expenses is loading error message, return object. Expenses error message, then is loading, is logged in, then this handle refresh function, set is logged in. All these things you can destructure. So you can see there is no red underline. So everywhere, everything is getting used. So if you there is some missing things, so here we need to import all of these. Use effect, just base API URL, Axios, refresh. Still something is missing, so you can open console, use local storage hook. So if suggestion is not coming, you can just open that file side by side and then it will come. Now you can see there is no error. So dashboard page is loading. Everything is working as expected. So the advantage, we have moved everything into custom hook. So this hook you can directly test by making that API call. So you don't need to, so this file is not becoming larger. You can also create separate file for these particular routes, but that is fine. So this is fine. So all these routes at one place. No add expense. This is fine. This is not much big. So here you can see we have one use effect, one submit. So this is a larger. What we are doing here, we are just getting expense. You can create. Always start the custom hook with name use, get expense. So here you will get the ID of that particular expense that you need to fetch. I will move this. Axios, paste API URL, set expense, set error message, set is load. So everything we can move inside here. Do we need set expense here? No. Can use this here. So as we are getting ID, it needs ID. This has to be at the top. You cannot have it below. So it will not work. So you are creating it later. So make sure you add it before. Imported. This is edit expense. To edit and it's working. Dashboard. Let's say grocery and it's working. Now we have simplified a bit. All the states are moved. Set error message. This is, you can see there is 3 dots. That means it's not able to find that. Set success message. Set success message. Set error message. Now this is fine. So if there is any error during update, throw new error or getting the expenses. You can see we are getting error. So the error is correctly getting this. So this is fine. Add expense should work as it is correct. Add expense, we don't have much. This is fine. You can also, if you want, you can also move it to separate custom hook. Expense form. Here also you can move this to separate hook, but that is fine. Expense list, expense table. This is just one method. Don't do too much refactoring. Profile. So for profile we can do, it has a lot of code. So we can say use profile. Too much refactoring also involves too much testing. So don't try to do everything in a custom hook. Reset on submit. You can move this also here. We don't need to pass anything. Is loading error message, success message on submit. Under submit register. Errors also we need. And these handle at where they're in profile don't need anything. Why we are passing profile? Yeah, we don't need anything here. That's photo profile and it's working. Updated successful. Refresh. So this is for loading. This is for updating. So if you throw error in try, catch will execute, and we are showing error in catch. This is also working fine. So this much refactoring is fine. Swap is also refactored. Profile is also refactored. Register is fine. We don't have much here. We are not using reset. Search expenses. It will have. Yes. So it has a lot of code. Use search. Are we using anything extra here? No. So we can just return out. Let me see what we need to return. Search term, expense type, expense year, sort by, filtered expenses, and these functions, filtered expenses and handle summary. Filtered expenses. This is filter expenses. This is a function. You search expenses. It needs expenses to set it here, so we can pass it directly. So this is not a component, so you are not getting those as props. So this is a normal function. Custom hook is a normal function. So you can either pass it as directly, or you can, if you have more than one, you can convert that into object. So whenever the expenses changes in app, we are rendering this component, and you will get updated expenses. And when the expenses change, we will execute this use effect hook. Here we don't need this. It should be empty expense. So initially array will be empty, and whenever the expenses comes, we set it. So now everything, set search term, set expense here. Set search term, set expense type, expense year, It's sort by remain. Search expenses. Use effect. Should work. Oh, sorry. Shopping is working. Cash, card, current year, previous year. We don't have anything. Old days first, 7 November. New days first, 16 November. So this is working. So I think we are done with everything. That's it for today. Any question?
Okay, so in starting we moved some code for formatting date and amount. So those are different than use hooks, right? So
hooks are different. These are normal functions. You can use it anywhere.
Okay. And so like we had that function refresh. So we can't move that kind of function here because that was dependent on app.
When something is dependent on some state, or you want that function to have updated value when the component re-render, you should not put it outside. You should put inside component itself. So if some function is using some state variable, then it should be inside app component one. So refresh and then refresh. So this is the function which is using refresh state. So you don't need to put it outside, because whenever the component re-render, you need to use this refresh value. If you put outside, you will not get the updated value of refresh. So if something is not dependent, you can directly pass some value, then you should use that as a separate function. Otherwise, always include everything inside the component itself.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, it's clear for me.